We've got the flop cam up, so it's Jack. We had the flop cam up. Jack 8-8-3. Ace Queen is behind as Anand makes a pair of threes. Disregard the graphic, there was definitely a three down there. Okay, let's go to the new hand. Okay, so the next hand is ensuing. Jose is under the gun. Jose in seat number 6, just bottom left of your screen there, so it'll be Jose first to act. Obviously, Cipe will be dealing with small blind first. And hopefully Jose is going to put his cards in the box for us. King 4 suited. I like suited kings, but not so early in the piece, as they say. Just folded around to Anand. Anand's a bit of respect for Jose there. And Carl has ace 2, so he calls. So if we get a spade flop here, this will be interesting. Oh my word, 2 spades on the flop. This is going to have some action, guys and girls out there. Jose's definitely going to bet this. I fancy a re-raise here from Carl. Just a flat, interesting. Spade on the turn, there's going to be drama. No spade, Carl. Jose pairs his 4, so he's in the lead. Carl's going nowhere with this suited draw. And of course, don't forget that Carl's also got a straight draw if the 5 comes on the river. No help. Jose's in front with his 4. Jose's going to bet here, and Carl's going to have to fold, unfortunately. Didn't bring the fireworks we were looking for. Carl might think his ace is good here. I can't shout loud enough, Carl, but your ace isn't good. Yeah, good fold. Good fold, buddy. Okay, there's your little event. Nice warmer-upper for the weekend. And we're looking forward to some really, really good poker. A lot of good poker players in town. A lot more on their way. And always a pleasure to be here at the Times Square Casino Resort and Entertainment Arena. Okay, under the gun. Giron left the picture, seat number 7. Okay, first time we've heard from Mike Rocco here. Looks like a 2,000 raise. And he'll get a lot of respect. He's been very, very quiet, and the players won't really know him around this table. Kenny folds, Dick folds. And it looks like Jose, sorry, is going to defend his blind. 4-3-7. Best of it for Mike. Interesting, just a check back from Mike. Ace on the turn, not a good card for either player. This could be a bet fold. Mike doesn't believe him. And you know, Mike could be betting to set up a bluff. And you know, you'll see now Mike has made a straight. Jose's betting into Mike. Mike's going to take his time here. He's now hoping that Jose has the ace. That's a re-raise, looks like a 25. Yeah, 25,000. Jose's like. Once again, to our viewers out there, apologise for the noise. We can't control the other punters in the casino. Okay, hand number 18. Seems like a lot more, to be honest, but it's been absolutely riveting from day one. Really, really enjoyed it. So Mike Rocco under the gun, 5-3. They're going in the muck, for sure. And we don't get to see Anna's cards, but they couldn't have been that good. King 7 for Carl. They should be going in the muck. Raised by Kenny with the 10-9, 2,000. Greg folds, and that'll get round. So Jose sent her a picture there. As I say, he's a native Indian from Kerala in the south, as they call it in India, God's own country, and currently working and residing in the beautiful Mozambique. Bit of trivia for you: Mozambique, the only flag in the world to have a weapon on it that is an AK-47. Interesting fact, and it is a fact. Look up the Mozambican flag and you will see there is a AK-47 on it. Nick Zackham, King 10 suited, love these cards. Fold, fold. Nice flop for King 10 there, and I'm pretty sure that the Mike Rocco 7 is going to keep it involved as well. So Nick bets that. There are 2 overs, of course, so Mike's not to know that his pair is actually ahead, and he's going to fold that out. And understandably so. Once again, you know, players still feeling each other out here, you know, metaphorically speaking, and you know, looking for a bit of information and a tell and what's happening, etc. So I've been trying to log on to my laptop for everybody back there at in internet land, but unfortunately I can't get it logged on. The internet's been a bit poor here, shall we say, of late, and we have got a dedicated line which brings you these pictures, but unfortunately we can't log into that because that'll stop us bringing you these wonderful pictures and obviously the wonderful coverage that we're able to do from Times Square here in Pretoria. So Nick Zackham in the hijack, King 4. Jose raises it up. Mike Rocco, pocket sevens. Be interesting to see how Mike plays these. I mean, essentially it's been a small raise and a limp. He's offset hunting. Five, 2. 2 pair for Mike Rocco with 56%. No pictures on board, but there is a backdoor heart draw there. The ace won't be a pretty sight for his pocket sevens. Nick Zackham has still got 2 hearts here and may fancy a little stab at this with his big draw. And sure enough, Nick's going to throw out a small bet here. 2.5, I think. Yeah, small ball poker. And of course, Jose has picked up a spade draw. Nick Zackham, believe it or not, his 4 is good. And Mike Rocco be thinking, I folded pocket sevens. What did I do? What is wrong with you? And those chips will get slid across to Nick. So I don't often give a shout out to our staff here at Monsterjam, but a big shout out to Caitlin and Roxy, who've been a grand job doing all the bookings and making sure we're all looked after. Of course, to David Rolfe, our tournament director, who's out there controlling things. And of course, not forgetting merchandising Dave De Beer, who does lots of running around and who's out there selling all our merchandise this evening. So please pop along. You can't miss him. He's just to the side of the venue in the main walkway as you walk into the venue. And we got some great t-shirts, we got some great hoodies, and we've even got gloves and beanies I saw out there. All with the new Monsterjam logo, the gold lettering, very gangster, I might say, and suits my personality, as I'm sure. And of course, a big shout out to Mark Joseph, the creator, owner and CEO of the Monsterjam poker brand. And no doubt Mark will be joining us in the commentary at some stage throughout the event. Let's get back to the action. Raised by Jose, 10-6 in the hijack, called by Kenny with King 4. And Michael Rocco here with the Queen Jack. He's going to get rid of those on the button. Anand pocket 9s. Surprised Anand didn't raise there. He's offset mining. Let's see how he goes. And the suited ace 5. Now Cole can raise this. Trust me, he'll punish those limpers. But of course, he can always just flat call and hope to see a couple of diamonds on the flop. And I think that's what happens. He limps along. 4 players to the flop. Pocket 9s ahead as we go. 4 King 7 overcard. King to Kenny Morgan goes into the lead. No flush draws available. Kenny has 76% of the equity. Decides to check. Checks it round. Option to Jose. We'll see a turn card. 2 of diamonds. No real developments here. King is still out and ahead. I think Anand has, somebody has raised. Looks like Anand raised.
11,000.
Yeah, Anand bet. Cole's going to fold. Kenny Morgan with the king, I suspect, is calling. No, he raises to 11. So Jose's going to get out of the way. And the call by Anand to 7. River card brings a 4. So Kenny is golden here. We go to the flop cam. Go to the flop cam. Yes, it was a 4 on the river. So Kenny's golden. So there's a bet by Kenny of 17,000. Anand needs to decide whether or not his 9s are good. He's got calling chips in his hands, so he might call this off. Yeah, he doesn't believe him. And now he's going to find out the bad news that Kenny in actual fact does have a full house. Nice hand by Kenny, good recovery. Nice to see some chips going across to the his side of the table. Great player Kenny, and nice to have him with us as always. Greg leads the spot, 741,000. Kenny's still at the bottom with 247, but a long, long way to go. When we have a minute, we'll get our tech team to bring up the timing screen for us so we can have a look at how far the level has gone. And the next hand will be Nick Zackham, and Nick will be under the gun. Nick Zackham under the gun, 10-8, decides to call off the 500, up to 1,000. So I think the blinds have just gone up. So the levels are 1 hour, so we'll have another hour to go before our first break. Unfortunately, we can't get a shot of the timing screen as we talk, but we will rectify that in the fullness of time. Kenny with the Jack-9 suited. These are what they call the Lebanese aces. Kevin Cale, the man of fame. Jack-9 suited, that's what he tells me. No idea why. Some juicy cards and we're off to the flop. Queen, Queen 5. Ace high, Ace Jack is Jack 9 with the diamond draw. Ace comes, so Anand's going to lead in the front here now with the ace. Kenny's got the diamond draw here, so it looks like he's going to bet that out. I think Nick will get out of the way. Action across to Anand, and he's got top pair here, top kicker, so he's not going to be afraid of Kenny too much. He could see a re-raise here, in fact. I've played a lot of poker with Anand, only in South Africa, but you know, got game and certainly not afraid to get involved. I mean, Carlos to get rid of these for sure. Yeah, they've got to go. So we're looking at the river card now. 7 of diamonds, bingo. Kenny Morgan makes his flush. He's going to bet here for value, and it's back to, does Anand believe him again? It's exactly the same situation as the last hand. Anand's got 2 pair, top 2 pair, but the flush gets there. It looks like Anand's going to pay him off, huh?
15-minute break. You're on a 15-minute break.
Yeah, and he's going to pay him off, and he's going to get the bad news. And Kenny will show his flush. Anand's going to go, he's smiling. Good old Anand. And he'll realise that Kenny got there. And a nice value bet by Kenny on the river there. Well played. 43,000. And you'll see Kenny is cranking it back up very, very slowly, but he's getting there. You know, like I say, never write this guy off, huh? Top man. Okay, we got a new hand starting. And Jose Paranking is going to be our under the gun player. Jose to the left of your screen there, as I said, from Kerala in the south of India. God's own country, as they say. Currently residing in Mozambique, over on the East Africa coast there, just situated below Tanzania. And a beautiful spot. So we're just entering our second hour of the 90K here, being brought to you by Monsterjam Poker from the Times Square Casino in partnership with the Sun International Group, and we thank them so much for everything they do for us. Big shout out to our sponsors, Aquavita Water. Been with us a long time, and we continue to enjoy your product, and thank you so much to all the guys at Aquavita. To Regal Hospitality and Events, for those of you who don't know, those are the owners of Monsterjam, and of course a new sponsor, albeit a small one, Formula One Technologies, who've supplied us with printers for our event this time round. And you know, look them up, Formula One Technologies, here in Johannesburg and across South Africa, for all your printing, copying, communication needs and solutions. Okay, back to the table. You'll have saw just now Harold Brooks and David Rosenthal on a reconnaissance visit. Both of those guys very comfortable at this big table and maybe looking to jump in. Mick Zackham defends his big blind here. 2 players to the turn. Carl with the 10-3. Nick with the ace. Check, check. And Mr. Myberg just made 2 pair on the river. So Nick bets out here. I need to see you raise here, Cole. You need to raise. Let's get some money off the guy. That's how you work. Nicky was thinking his ace was good, and rightly so. But I fancy a raise here, 15k or something. And watch Nicky's face.
Wow.
A classic Myberg moves, and he'll show the ace, and that'll be it. And Carl will pick up a 23,000 gain, and no criticism. Look at Nicky's face, he's smashing the table. Love this guy. Good work, my friend, good work. Unlucky.
Well done, I like it. I was wondering, you know what? At the same time, I have an ace. You shocked me.
Nicky is now schooling Carl Myberg on how he should play 10-3.
That was a sneaky one of me. No, the way you played it, I'm sneaky.
So G-Ron, Greg Ronderson, top right of your picture is under the gun. So Greg will be first to act, 10-5 offsuit. They're going to go in the bin for sure.
I could have saved a bit of money by check. Yeah, that would save some money.
Mike Rocco with ace-9 and been very, very quiet. Under the gun +1. Raises to 4,000. Anand looks down at Queen 10 suited. Another one of my favourite hands. This is the Robert Varconi hand, named after Robert Varconi, who won the World Series in 2002, I believe it was, with those very same cards. Suited connectors for Kenny. I hope we don't see any diamonds, he says, with the Queen 10 just behind him. And Nick is coming along with his value for the King Queen. And Jose with King Jack is also involved. So we have a 5-way split to the pot here. 6, 8, 9. So Mike Rocco has got the best of this with the 9 and the kicker. So he's got top. So Mike has bet 14k here. I don't know what Anand's doing here, other than looking for a gut shot 10. Sorry, gut shot Jack. So I think Anand has called here, so over to Kenny Morgan. Kenny's got an up and down straight draw here with the 7 of diamonds. He's also got a pair of 6s. And it looks like he's carving out a call. Nick Zacham's probably going to get rid of his King Queen, and Jose, he'll get rid of those. 3 players to the turn. Another 8, not really a danger card for anybody. I think Mike's got to continue his story here. Yeah, nice. I like to see Mike continue the story here, and he does have the best hand. He don't put in any of the other players on an overpair because, you know, the pre-flop action. So Anand folds, he gets out the way. So it's action round to Kenny Morgan. Anand have folded. Kenny's got a few outs here. And Mike has bet a hefty bet here, so I'm pretty sure Kenny's going to get away from this. Wow, Kenny's going to have a gamble. I think those red chips are 10,000s. You can see the outs that Kenny has left at the top of the screen. There's only 7. So he's at 21% to win this hand. He's pondering to himself now, what do I do, what do I do? It's not easy spots, you know, this, so, you know, you got to give Kenny time. This is not Mike's first rodeo either, so he's not going to be perturbed. He's just waiting to see what's going down with Mike here. Kenny, sorry. And he gets away from it. I think that's a fairly solid fold there from Kenny. He wasn't getting that good at pot odds. I mean, it was a huge bet from Mike on the turn. And Mike slips up into second place there. He's 47,000 over his 500 starting. Under the gun, Mike Rocker, 10-9 suited, love those cards, raised to 4,000, called a call with the King 7 in the hijack, they go in the muck. Kenny was 7-6, are you interested? Pocket Queens, oh I thought it was Pocket Queens for Nick, I must have missed that, it's Queen 9. It is Pocket Queens for Jose. 4-bet, 21,000. Snap call from Mike Rocco with a 10-9. And Nick Zackham folds his queen. Ace 5, that'll slow down the action a little bit. Not a flop you want to see if you've got a queen. Jose's going to rep here. And Mike's got nothing to come back at him with. This is an easy fold, but he's going to take his time, make sure that people don't think he's just an easy pushover when it comes to getting rid. And as predicted, those go in the muck.
Players in the money main, you may start take your seats again. Players in the money main.
And Jose picks up a pot, well, a game of 26,000 there, so well done, Jose. And, you know, nice call by Mike, and the flop just does not favour you there at all. So Anand under the gun, 4-2. He's a fold. Cole folds. Kenny with king 6. He calls the 1000. Jose with ace 3. Off to the flop. And it looks like the 3's good. Jose with his ace 3 in really good shape here. Trouble is, I don't think he's going to get much action.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, in the minimum, you can shuffle up in the order lines of 200, 400 to the 400. 200, 400, 400.
Okay, sorry for the loss in commentary and picture there momentarily. As with all things, we're all dependent on other people, and we are dependent on the internet feed that we get provided with here, and for some reason, and no fingers pointed, of course, we lost our internet feed, and now, God willing, it's back with us, and it's going to keep us going. We've been tracking the action while you've been away. There have been no major hands, so the chip counts are reasonably close to what they were when we left you earlier on, and hopefully it didn't interfere with your viewing too much, and that you're picking up with the action as we speak. We're about 10 to 20 minutes now into the second hour of our feed, and the action's been pretty intense. So Jose with the Jack 10 suited. My favourite hand, of course, is the call. Greg Ronaldson raised to 6 with a King 7. Mike Rocco Jack Queen, and Cole gets rid of the King 2. So it's a 3-bet from Mike Rocco here pre-flop. Jose folds. Sorry to see those going amok. And Greg's going to fold. And Mike will pick up the dead money, which accounts for about 9,000 and some change. Well done, buddy. Good play. And once again, I apologize to our streamers out there. I know you're out there, but unfortunately, I can't see any of your messages at this moment in time. So I will try and get connected. But for the time being, I'm not ignoring your messages. I just can't see them. So I apologize. Okay, Nick under the gun, King 9. The old K9, the doggy hand, as they say. So I found another device that I can try and log on to. So I know that Keith Bishop is watching. I know that Mr. Elan is watching. And nice to catch up with you the other day, Elan, at your home there. And great chatting about poker. And enjoyed very much listening to the early days of poker in South Africa. And Elan, the founding father, of course, as you may or may not know. Sam Newbury is watching. The beautiful Sam. I bet you're missing your man. I think he's out in Mauritius playing at the moment, if I read the writing right on the Facebook feed earlier. And if you're with him, then good luck and pass on my best. If you're not, we'll pass on my luck when you're on the telephone to him next. Also online is the Bishop, Mr. Keith Bishop. Get all your Audi and German spares from him over there in Edenvale. If you're looking for something for a German motor car, he's the guy to go and see, Keith Bishop. And don't worry, Keith, I will be charging you for the advertisements. Okay, Cole calls with the pocket 2s here. And he's got a set on the flop, Cole. And the other players are drawing dead. Anand might get involved here with the queen. Yeah, and he's fallen right into the trap, and he's going to bet out. And you're going to see a re-raise here from Cole for sure. Okay, Cole was a bit weary of the runner flush there. Hence the reason he didn't value the river, I'm sure. 40k to the good. And as the graphics come up there, I'm just thinking about it myself. Sun International, in partnership with Monsterjam Poker Tour, brings you these wonderful events around the country at all the Sun International venues. And of course, the pictures today are brought to you by Cardstream. From the flop to the river, we deliver. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on. So Mike Rocco from the hijack raises up to 4 grand. Carl with the 10-5 on the button. Carl might call here, he's on the button. Nope. So I got a question on the stream earlier. Let's just watch this play out a little bit. 9-3-2 on the flop, ace queen ahead. Kenny getting stubborn with his 7-6, and his stubbornness pays off. He has a pair of 7s. 3,000 the bet. Small ball poker from Mike Rocco. I think Kenny's going to minimum flat call here. Eight on the river. Your 7's good, Kenny. Check. Mike Rocco, kids. Only way Mike wins this pot is if he bets. And that's exactly what he's going to do. And Kenny will pay him off for sure. And a nice call there by Kenny. Very, very nice. Good play. And I think if you're going to buy pots in South Africa, Michael, you're going to have to pay a lot more money than that. Well done, Kenny. Sniffed it out indeed. Greg Ronaldson continues to lead the way, 730,000, courtesy of that very big pot early doors. And Kenny down the bottom with 278, but as I say, blind level's very, very low. We're very, very deep starting here. 3-day tournament, 90k to enter. And just a wonderful venue here at the Timecare Square Casino Entertainment Arena, and enjoying all the hospitality that Sun International has to offer. Under the gun, G-Ron, A6 suit, offsuit. For those of you who don't remember our last stop, Len Freeman was at the table, and a shout out to Len if you're listening on the stream. And Len, the irony was that G-Ron is coaching Len, and they were heads up against each other quite a few times. So the student got the better of the coach a couple of times. Okay, our friend Mr. Myberg has woken up with the hooks here. Got to come out firing. I like a bet around 10,000. 3-5. You're going to get callers there, brother. Oh my word, queens from Kenny. This is a problem. So 2 premium hands here, pocket jacks versus pocket queens, and I have no idea what Anand is doing in the cutoff with 4-2. Ace on the flop, so that might slow both of these guys down. If Carl bets here, Kenny can get away from this, but unlikely he gets away from it. Snap call from Kenny here with the queens. Anand's got to get out of the way. We go to the turn card. Oh, boom, bingo. Set of jacks. Oh, my word, what a sick card. What a sick card. Set over set. I was playing in a tournament earlier this week, and I lost a lot of money.
12,000. 22,000.
Carl's going to think back over this now. The flush gets there. And I think the fact the flush gets there may just save Carl some money here. And he might just flat call this. He's certainly not folding, put it that way. Set of queens. Wow. Sick. I suspect you'll show these. Yeah. Nice pot. Nice pot. Nice hand. And just a terrible run out for Cole. But great play, Kenny, as well. You know, Kenny's played some good poker this evening, deserves a pot as well. And a gain of 38,000. I think Cole will be quite pleased that that flush came in at the end there and probably saved him a bit of money. Probably saved him a bit of money. So welcome to Barry Conway. Always nice to see you online, Barry. Barry, a very good cash player, and you'll often see him at the venues in Johannesburg. Big shout out to you. Johan de Graaf is watching this intently. Johan's at the venue, I believe. Played a tournament with him yesterday. Always a joy to sit next to him. And big shout out for the biltong. Makes the best biltong in South Africa, so he tells me. Under the gun, Mike Rocco, 1,000 to call. Mr. Mark Butta, shocking pronunciation by Apomi, I know. Chess to his friends. Saw Big Mark during the week there at another satellite, and always a pleasure to catch up with you, Mark, and nice to see you online. And as promised, you're going to come and join us at the Monsterjam Poker Tour next year, once you've got a few things in order, and we look forward to seeing you, my friend. Okay, three-way to the flop. Ace, ace, two. That's a slow down flop if you ever saw one. King high, 62% for Jose. Looks like Kenny and Carl are still unpicking the Jacks v Queen's hand. King on the river, Duff deliver. Jose is a winner. I think that was a poem. I'm a poet and I don't know it. Okay, chip counts. G-Ron at the top, Kenny at the bottom. Picked up a nice little pot just now, up to 315. And only Cole and Jose above starting stack. The remainder of the players just under starting. And as per the display there. Okay, new hand. And Anand Kumar is going to be our first player under the gun. This is hand number 33 of the day. Shout out for Big Nev Governor down there in sunny Derbs watching on the stream. Nice to see you online, Nev. Pity you're not here with us. Always a joy to catch up with you, my friend. So Carl raises up to 2.5, called off by Jose on the button, and G-Ron's probably going to be raising these jacks if I know G-Ron. 15k the raise. Carl needs to fold these, I think. Don't want to get too stubborn with those. I think that was Des Godfrey that was just in the side of the picture there, I'm not sure. And bet, fold, fold, and you want to get those through. No trouble for the other players. You got the unmistakable face of Henny Apple just to the left of our screen there. Sat next to Jamie and Martin and Doc Eben. That'll be an interesting corner. I wouldn't mind being still there myself. Those guys have got some patter and they've got some game as well. There's some good boys. Under the gun, 7-2 of diamonds. Carl loves to play these cards, but is he going to play them? Look at he's laughing to himself. Because he knows on the commentary, I just mentioned 7-2. Trust me, he knows exactly what I'm saying, and that's why he's smiling. Watch this film back, Myberg. Watch this film back. Got your number. Jose with pocket sevens, and Greg with ace-5 of diamonds. So your 7-2 was dead of diamonds. That's a good fold there with the ace, suited ace. And pocket sevens get through. And Cole's still chuckling to himself that he actually folded 7-2. And he'll know that I'm commenting that he folded those cards. So save this bit of the movie. Chip counts on your screen. I think we're probably getting near to a break. As I say, we can't get the timing screen up at the moment, but we will try and rectify that sometime later this evening or tomorrow. Welcome, Mr. Moon Khan. Moon Khan online, always nice to see you, buddy. Don't know where you are in the world. Last time we swung by, I was arriving in London and you were leaving. So we crossed over the sea, as it were. But if you're in town, come visit, come join us. We'd love to see you. Under the gun, Kenny Morgan, King 6. So 3,000, pocket sevens appear again. That's a call from Nick. Hanan might fancy a piece of this in a small blind with the suited connectors. I think he does. That's a call. Carl's Jack 2 goes in the muck, and we'll go 3 ways to the flop. Flop brings us 7-4. King. Set of sevens for Nick. Top pair for Kenny, who's going to bet this. Nick's going to limp along. I think if Nick could, he'd be licking his lips here. Nine, no help. Nick's got a lock on the hand. Kenny's going to continue to bet here. And Nick will just lap this up. He'll call. Oh, here comes the raise. Boom. Harshad, Keshav, nice to see you online, buddy. Top Man United fan, by the way, but we don't want to talk about soccer. We should talk about rugby. Let's talk about rugby, but we'll do that later on in the broadcast. Be interesting to see what people have got to say on the semi-finals, the selections of referees, etc., etc. There's a bit of controversy for the stream. Who's going to win the first semi-final, All Blacks or England? If you ask John Ambrosi, he's going to tell you the All Blacks. If you ask the Pommies, they're going to tell you it's England. If you ask this Pommie, I'm just supporting the Springboks. But that's another story. So, what are your predictions for the semi-finals? What do you think about the referees? And we'll get some controversy going in a half an hour or so when the feedback comes on those. Kenny's trying to work it out. He's got you beat, Kenny. He's got you beat. I've got a set of sevens. And Nick, never afraid to have a chat, answering all of Kenny's questions apart from the obvious one. And they show their cards. Nice hand by Nicky, 777 there. Nickname of Ahmed Kareem, by the way, that 777. And a good fold by Kenny, sniffed it out. Well done. So it's folded round into Anand on the button, 10-6. Anand's not one to fold his button, suspect we'll see a bet here.
3,000. Player 10, 3,000.
Cole's got an upgrade, 7-3 from 7-2. They're going in the muck. Kenny with king 6. He keeps getting an odd king here. They're going in the muck. So it looks like Anand got a walk. Kenny folded as well. So it just picks up the dead money, 2.5 thousand. Okay, we got ourselves a new hand. Under the gun is Jose with ace-2 offsuit. Jose likes the look of those, so he's going to call. Giron gets out of the way with queen 10. Mike Rocker with the 9-8 calls. Anand Kumar, and that's going to raise, I think. Yeah, a little raise there with the suited connectors. 2 pictures, Jack Queen. Very, very pretty hand. Carl with a king 2 on the button. Should get rid of this, but he is in position. Yeah, good fold, Cole. Nice discipline. Nick gets out of the way, and looks like the raise is going to get through from Anand. Nice move, nice move. Well played, Anand. And Anand, no stranger to this size of table. Anand a regular across the country in terms of poker, and always a pleasure to see him at the table. Don't know if I like that camera angle when we see Cole Meyerberg's legs. That is a bit scary. We apologise to our viewers out there, and please give this at least a 16 rating. We don't want your youngsters looking at those legs for sure. Okay, that's Maka in the background. We have a little competition with Maka. If we can catch him on camera, he has to pay. We caught him. Mike Rocco raising, under the gun +1, ace jack. Raised it up to 4,000. 10-6 in the cutoff. There in the muck, Mr. Cole. 9-8 for Kenny. Kenny likes to play these connected cards, so maybe just a call. 4K is a call. And Jose will fold. 2 players to the flop. Ace Jack 9-8. And the Jack is the high card. Top kicker 97%. This will go bet fold. And bet fold it is. Okay, so we've got approximately 14 or 15 minutes left on the level. And I believe that'll be the 2 hours. In the center of your picture there, David Rosenthal, patrolling, visiting, patrolling. The fact that he's not sat down at a table to play yet is interesting.
Exactly.
I suspect Cole's getting a bit frustrated with these rubbish cards, but he's shown some good discipline. Kenny calls the 3K with ace-10. Nick Zackham's going to come along on the button for 3K with the suited cards. Jose once again shows some discipline as well. And Greg Ronson in the big blind here. 2K to call, so it's a cheap price, and he has got a suited jack, so he's going to come along and have a look. Likes the look of those cards. Ace, queen, ace, so the ace of Kenny is out in front. Check, check, option on Kenny. That's a bet, and that's a bet to find out where he is, if anybody's got a queen. He's looking for players to flat call him here, because the queen has to come out of hiding, and if they haven't got queens, well, he knows where it is, because it's going to go fold, fold. So I'm unable to watch all the streams, but I think there's 25 or 30 of you on Facebook, a similar amount on Twitch at the moment, and no doubt our YouTube numbers will be up there. So over 100 people watching us already, and that's just 100 feeds that are being taken, not necessarily 100 people. It could be over 200 people, you know, 2 people watching each stream, and in some cases whole families are watching the stream. So welcome to everybody out there. Blinds at 500, 1,000, 1,000 on the big blind ante. This is hand number 40, and under the gun, seat 10 is Anand Kumar. He folds. Cole's got another upgrade, 7-2, 7-3, now 7-4. We do look after you, Mr. Myberg. Another disciplined fold by him. Kenny with 10-4, they're in the muck as well. And Nick Zackham will look down, and we will not see what he's got. It is a mystery. Raise to 3,000. Insta call by Jose with a suited 8-3. And of course, why did he call? Because he's on the button, he has position. Folded around to Mike Rocco. Mike's in the big blind, so he's going to defend. And we'll have 3 players to the flop, 10,500 in the pots. Flop comes King 9-6, Rainbow.
Players in the mini-main, your blinds are up 200, 500, and 580. 200, 500, 580.
Apologies, that's Big David Rolf just telling the other tournament, the mini main, that their blinds are now up. So we don't know what cards as Nick has, but currently with a pair of 3s, Jose's out in front. Mike's going to get out the way. Jose has bet 15,000 with a 3. We're now seeing Nick's cards, and he will fold. So here's your chip counts. And a nice international feel to our field today. Of course, we're predominantly South Africans with 4 players. There's a player from India, a player from the United States, and a player from the beautiful country of Botswana. Good evening to anybody watching in Botswana. Always nice to have you online. Cole Myberg under the gun. Carl with the ace-9 offsuit under the gun. Had a pretty crappy run of cards recently, so a little show of strength. Jose doesn't believe him. Interestingly, they both have the same hand. Mike Rocco wakes up with some cards here. Raise coming in. Just a call with the jacks. That's an interesting play. You know, there is no book about playing jacks. Raise them, fold them, hold them. It's just crazy. Let's see what happens. So his jacks are ahead, but there's a queen, which is obviously an overcard on the board. Fancy a bet here from Carl or from Jose? Carl's the original raiser. So he's going to represent the queen. Jose will sensibly get out of the way. And now Mike Rocco has to decide whether or not Carl's lying. We all know he is. Wow, that's a tight lay down. And Anand has got a flush draw here, of course. So he's going to call. King on the turn. Check, check, I suspect. I mean, Cole's going to continue the story if he's going to win the hand.
Oh, 14,000. Yeah.
Now he's making the price very expensive for Anand. And Anand's got a call. So Carl's got to wonder what he's got. No spade on the river. Let's see what happens. Oh my word. 2 pair. No, 1 pair. 9 on the river. Carl has to continue the story. We'll get option from Anand first. He checks. I probably suspect he's going to take the check back. And Carl's going to drag in the pot there. Well done. Carl moves back up to 2nd place, but not a lot in it. Giron still has the outright lead, of course. And we're about 10 minutes away from the first break of the evening. So we don't know what Kenny's got. He calls. Nick calls with the 7-5 suited. Jose with the ace-2. Call. And Mike Rocco folds. So it looks like we're 3 ways to the flop. Okay, make that 5 ways to the flop. Ace, King, 10. 3 cards to a raw flush. Ace high from Jose is ahead here. 7-4 is in no good shape. That's a check by the look of it. Looks like Kenny's checked as well. And option is with Jose. We bet 7k, and this will be folded back around. We don't know what Kenny's cards are here, but the ace is ahead here. There's no draw other than the bear ace. I can't see. We go to the flop count quickly. And I couldn't see Kenny's cards. Oh, Kenny had the 10. Kenny had the 10. So nice hand there from Kenny. So Nick will be under the gun. Pocket tens for Jose here, under the gun +1. We'll see some sort of raise for sure. Raise to 5. Kenny to call. I think he's probably going to get rid of these. And there's your chip counts. So under the gun will be Jose. Greg will get rid of his 6-3 under the gun +1, I'm sure. Pocket 8 for Mike Rocco. He's raised it up to 4, and then in the cutoff decides the call. Cole with 10-4 in the button. He should go in the muck. Might try a call on the basis he's in the button. No, good discipline again. Ace-3 for Kenny. Kenny's not interested, also good discipline. And Nick in the big blind, 9-2. Well disciplined as well. Flop 2 ways, pocket 8 versus king 9. 2 overs for Anand here. Flop comes 3, 7, 8. Nut flush draw for Anand with the spades and the over cards. He's not going anywhere for that cost, I'm sure. And it's a bet in the fold. So Greg Robinson will be under the gun next hand. Greg played very solid this evening. Always a pleasure to see Greg playing. Six-3 under the gun, no good. They're going to go in the muck, I'm sure.
Supersman, you are now on a 15-minute break. 15-minute break.
And we're going on a 15-minute break. We'll just see the conclusion of this hand, and we'll take 15 minutes. Cole with the ace-8 in the cutoff here. As the break is coming, a lot of players are itching to get to the toilet or go and those who smoke or whatever, or get a coffee. Usually run away very quickly. Kenny's wise to that, so he calls it off. And Anand gets out of the way. No, he calls also. So we're 3-way to the flop. 9-6, ace-8, and we don't know what Kenny's cards are. Flop comes king 2-2, 2 hearts for Anand. Cole with the ace, the bear ace. That's checked around. 4 on the turn. And the jack on the river. And the ace is good, unless Kenny's got something we can't see. We just flip back to the other end of the table. Flip back to the other end of the table. And Kenny shows, I didn't see Kenny's cards. Let's go back to the shots with Cole and Kenny. And it looks like they're chopping the pot here. So we're going to go on a 15-minute break. Well, actually about 13 minutes now. And we'll be back with you shortly. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream here from the wonderful Sun International Hotel. Welcome back to the action. 15-minute break is over. I do believe we have 2 new players joining the table. As yet, we haven't got confirmation, so no names as yet. I'm hearing that seat 9 might be Ahmed Karim. So under the gun, sorry, cutoff is Kenny, raised to 3,000. Nick calls. Looks like Jose has called as well. And indeed, Ahmed Karim in picture there. We'll just switch back to the other camera, thank you. And 2 spades on the flop, so Nicky's got a draw here. Pair of 4s ahead for Kenny. And bet 6-5, Nick is going to call this off. Jose just returning to his seat. And Nick picks up a pair and a flush draw. And miles ahead here. King on the river, no help. Nick's ahead. Check, check. Opens his cards. Kenny will see the bad news. And he'll tell him he had a 4, he was ahead from the beginning. So Ahmed Karim is joining us at seat number 9. He will have a start-in stack of 500,000. And he hails from South Africa, of course, a good Cape Town boy. And nice to see Ahmed on the table. Talk a bit about Ahmed later on.
Better now, better. We need more. Nine better. How many level is playing today? Just 2 more. Oh, 2 more. Oh, beautiful.
I'm getting lots of questions on the stream. I will try and answer all of them as the evening goes on. So Paul Gonzalez, great commentary, Gary. I know, you don't need to tell me, but thanks anyhow. Just kidding, just kidding. Always nice to hear some feedback. Hendrik Ferreira, hi Gary, aren't you playing? Well, obviously not, I'm sat here. And everybody who's asking me the questions about all the satellites I won, the answer is I'm not going to play in any of the events, and I just entered them for fun and donated seats accordingly. My commitment is to this great game we love, which we all know and love, poker, and of course to the Monsterjam brand on behalf of Cardstream as we bring you these pictures. And come and pop into the booth. Come and help us with a bit of commentary if you're not if you're not involved in any poker. Of course, we don't want you to be. Sorry, chip counts just come up, and you'll see that Ahmed has joined the fray. Okay, so as I say, if you want to come and join us, feel free. We'd love to see you, and just pop by. I think our blind levels are wrong there. We'll just check with the floor.
The only time, last time I saw him, he was accident moment because he was not feeling well. Then he was sick, eh? I don't know what was it, poison, food poison or something.
Then we have a raise to 3,005.
Apologies, just lost the mic for a moment there. So race under the gun +1, 9-8 from Cole, and Anand calls it off under the gun with King 10. Ace, Ace, Jack. That'll slow down the action. King High currently leading. Check, check. Option with Cole. Cole also checks. Scary board for anybody, this one. Looks like Anand has bet. We can't see the amount of his bet. I'm guessing it's 5, 6, 7,000. Yeah, 7,000. Colin, 7,000 to call. He's not going to call this for sure. And Mike Rocco's got no draws, no possibilities. And the best hand wins, even though he thought he was bluffing. Okay, David Rosenthal is joining the table. As you can see there in your picture, he'll be in seat number 1, I believe. So David Rosenthal is joining us in seat number 1, and his starting stake will be 500,000. Okay, next hand, dealer. And David is joining us in seat number 1, and he will have 500,000 chips, not 5 million as we're trying over here. And a new hand has started, and David with pocket 9s, 1,000 to call. He's raised to 3,000. So welcome to the table, David, with your pocket 9s. Carl has folded. Kenny Morgan with the 7-6. In the muck, Nick with the Queen Jack offsuit. He calls the 3,000. Fold, fold. Mike Rocco with the Queen 9, not going to get too sticky. Ahmed's going to get rid of his Jack 3. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see 2 players to the flop. I apologise for getting the big blind of Anand who also calls. So 3 ways. Flop comes 10, Jack 6, 2 diamonds. Jack of hearts is ahead with Nick. 2 overs to the pocket 9s of David Rosenthal. David checks, bet 8 grand. Anand has got second pair here. David gets rid of his pocket 9s wisely. And he'll be delighted to see that 9, I'm sure. As he would have made a set on the turn. And Nick Zakhan will pick up the pot. And Buzz will be sitting there thinking, you're not going to make a set of 9s if I'd have stayed in, but there you go. So we have 9 players on our in our 90k. And a very accomplished bunch that they are too. There are no weak players at this table for sure. Everybody very comfortable in each other's company, and for sure we're going to see some good action here this evening and some quality poker. Of that I am positive. So under the gun will be Carl Myberg. Big shout out to Lisa, I always get your surname wrong, so I apologize, Lisa, but Simoninovic. And hope all is well with your family. And we send you best wishes here from Pretoria and look forward to seeing you again soon at one of our tables. So welcome on the line. Welcome Ronnie Olbatizi, nice to see you online, Ronnie. And also Moon and Clint, who are still here from the previous session. And hope you're enjoying the stream. So back to the action. Carl is raised with his Queen Jack suited. Kenny's called with mysterious cards, and Jose with 7-4. Nice flop for Carl. He's got an up and down straight draw here. He's under the gun, so in early position, so needs to bet out here. 5.5. Kenny snaps off the 5.5, and Jose gets rid of his cards pretty quickly. Carl looking for an 8 or a king. Carl has a monster here. Kenny's bet 12 grand. Carl's going to take his time. He will call this off. I think it's unlikely he's going to raise. So that's a call. 6 of hearts on the turn brings a flush as well. So Carl has the straight and the flush. Obviously the flush being the senior hand. And unless Kenny's got the ace, Carl will take in a pot, and Carl wins that hand. It goes check, check. And Carl takes a 26.5 profit from the hand. So well played, and unlucky Kenny. Chip counts as follows. Greg still at top, 731. Carl second place, just under 600. Closely followed by Jose. And all the other players are just under the 500,000 mark, with the exception of Kenny, who's just a bit lower. But once again, I will reiterate, very deep tournament, and certainly very slow off the block. So that was hand number 50. So our first landmark in terms of hand counts. The blinds are now 1-1, with one in the big blind ante. So the structure is slightly different to what we're used to. And once again, we will apologize for some of the ambient noise. There's not much we can do about it, unfortunately. We are in a live casino, and we have got a lot of foot traffic going past us as well. So Kenny's under the gun. Unfortunately, we can't see his cards. We just try to adjust the volume down so you're not picking up too much noise. And apologies that you can't hear the table banter. Unfortunately, the table is in a public area, and there are a lot of people around this evening. So Greg calls with his pocket fives, off for a bit of set mining. We don't know what Kenny's got. In fact, we do know, Jack 9. And David Rosenstow with the pocket twos is off set mining as well. And Carl with the 9-4 in the big blinds might feel inclined to defend, but no, that isn't the case. And he gets rid of his pockets. So Kenny calls. $10-7-4. So the set miners come up with a blank, unless Jose has got 2 4s, 2 7s, or 2 10s in his hands. Check from Bozo. And David's not going to call the 7,000 bet from Jose. We don't know what Jose's got at this moment in time, but we will find out in the fullness of time. King on the turn. Check, check. Option with Anand. I'd like a bet from Anand here. He's in position and been given the betting lead. No, he decides to check as well. And the river card brings a straight for Kenny here. Jack 9. There is a flush out there, of course. $13,000 a bet. And Anand finds himself in another position where he has to call off or not call off Kenny, and he decides correctly to let it go. Okay, so a question on one of our streams is, what is the rules for mobile phones at the feature table? Simple, you're not allowed them. If you want to use your phone, you can take them outside the trussing area, the trussing being those metal frames behind the players you can see, and just out of sight and away from the table. And the reason for that is the security of the game, not that we have any issues. Secondly, dating, and I must just say thank you them all for going by the rules, and we appreciate your indulgence as always. So David Rosenthal with King Jack here. Standard David here, just flicking through, decides to get rid of them. Bozo to his friends, 34 years of age, born in Johannesburg, lives in Johannesburg, single, been playing poker for 16 years and will never tell you what his favourite hand is. He says his favourite players are locally Harold Brooks and internationally Phil Ivey, and he loves playing at Sun City. Also plays Raz, if people are interested, Omaha High-Low, and his poker dislikes, of course, are bad etiquette at the table. I'm with you there, Bozo. Okay, 2-2-5. Kenny picks up the 5. Anand's got the over pair, and suspect he'll bet out here. I once asked David, what's his favourite poker quote? I don't know if it's a poker quote, but he said to me that in order to live, you must be willing to die. That's a bit freaky for me, I'm afraid. Too deep. So check, check. Option with Kenny. Check, check. He said, I've got a 5. And the 9s of Anand will be good. 23,000 on the gain there. And Anand picks up a pot. And it's about time. He says, I won one against Kenny. He's had his number this evening. So, you know, David Rosenthal, when we sat down, he said to me, I said to him, how do you describe your standard of play or your type of play? He said, psychopathic. I had to go and look that up in the dictionary, by the way. I know what it means, I just didn't know how to spell it. And when asked anything interesting that people should know about him, he said that he drunk me, Gary Allen, under the table once. It is true. And I don't drink, so it's quite easy, but it is true. So that's David Rosenthal for you. Bozo to his friends, and always a pleasure. Under the gun, Mr. Jose Parayam, looks like 4K from where I'm sitting. We'll find out now. And I think he's going to get repopped here by Anand. The second time he's had queens this evening. Bozo folds, Cole folds. Nick's 8-6 is not going to hang around, so back to Mike to call off a 10. Mike folds his cards, and Anand picks up 7K profit with his queens. Just while we're waiting to pick up the action again on the feature table, a couple of shots of the outside table there. Rob Blomsky, Vigandas, Lydia, just to name a few players. Oh, G-Ron under the gun, ace 10. Interesting play from Greg Ronaldson there. A lot of recreational players will be saying, why are you folding ace 10? Such a powerful hand. The reason is because he's under the gun. There's too many players to act after him. And if he raises 3,000 and someone re-raises a 10, he's not going to be prepared to pay the 10 off. So rather just get rid of it early. It would have been a different story if he'd have been last position and the pot had been limped. So Mike raises up to 4K. Comes round to call. He calls with his raggedy ace. Jose folds. Two players to the flop. Ace 4 v6, 6-4. 4 on the flop will be amusing. Two spades, 7-9 jack. Mike Rocco with the spade draw. Let's see if he. We don't know a lot about Mike's play, but he's given position to call. And Cole's ace high is still good here. And 4.5 the bet from Mike Rocco. And Cole will get rid of it. He gets rid of the best hand, but he doesn't realise that. But once again, discipline and solid poker will always win through. So the second new player who's joined us at the table, and not new to the scene, is Ahmed Karim. And I call him, and he is now 30, you old man. Been playing poker for 8 years, it seems like 80. And his favourite hand is Queen 8 of diamonds, and lists his favourite player as Ton Duan. And there is Ahmed in the black t-shirt and the reversed hat to the right of Mike Rocco. Actually, it's quite dark in that corner. They're all wearing dark t-shirts. Mike Rocco with a 9-6 there in the muck. Ahmed with ace 5. He quite likes these suited aces. He'll take his time as always. Under the gun +1, so early position. Standard raise 4,000 at this level. Welcome Rex on the stream. Haven't seen you around for a while, Rex. Hope you're well, buddy. I look forward to catching up with you in Joburg sometime. Ahmed raises up. Anand calls. Carl gets out of the way. Kenny gets out of the way. Nick is going to get out of the way as well, I'm sure. Jose gets out of the way. Greg with a raggy ace will probably get out of the way. Ace 5 versus ace jack. Looking for some heart help here. Anand well ahead. 6, 5, 10. Run good Ahmed with the 5. Ahmed also plays PLO, hates people tanking at the table. Describes himself as the aggressive fish. I think that was a bit tongue-in-cheek, frankly. So Anand is betting with the ace-jack here, 9K. He's asking Ahmed the question, 20K in the pots, he's got to bet 9K to win 20. So basically 2 to 1 is money, and that's a call. There's an 8 on board, so the straight gets there if there was a backdoor. Given the pre-flop action, it's unlikely either of these players are flushing here. So rainbow board, sorry, straighting here, rainbow board. Ahmed has checked, and Anand's going to continue the story. That looks like 17,000. I think Ahmed's going to fold this. He folds the best hand, but to be fair to him, Anand's betting strategy and sizing was very, very good. And it certainly made the story make sense. So let's finish off talking about Amit. I think his best performance to date, he tells me, is the WP High Roller in 2018. That was held down at Empress Casino there. Loves playing cricket and sports generally. Supports Real Madrid. Oh, goodness knows why. And he said, I'd most like to have a 1-to-1 with Cristiano Ronaldo. So as we're talking about him, he's now under the gun. So Rocco is in the big and Giron is in the small. Love these cards, 8-7 suited. 4 grand. Standard raise. So actions with Bozo. He decides to get rid of his pocket fours. 7-2 Cole Myberg. Another smile coming now. We'll fold it around to Mike Rocco in the big blind. So 2 players. Clubs on the flop would be interesting. Okay, so Ahmed hits the front with the 7. 1 overcard to a 7, the 10. Suspect we'll see some sort of continuation bet here. And this could actually go bet fold. Anand has shown a propensity to hang on to his high cards. But he's got no draw, so yeah, I thought so. It goes in the muck. And sensible, and once again a discipline fold from Anand, so well played, young sir. So there's your 9 players in the 90k. Say extremely deep starts, and the structure is there to allow you to chip up and allow you to play some poker. So we approach now hand number 57, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000 big blind ante. Maka in the background, caught you with your camera again in picture. Big shout out to Maka and Bongani who do all the mobile camera work, and Maka's actually been helping us here in the back room, so always nice to see him. He's learning some new skills, which is great, and we're learning from him, of course. So Anand under the gun, ace queen suited, raises it up. Kenny, calls, and then there's a raise from Kenny to 4.5. Nick folds. Jose is makes the decision 7-5. He's called by the look of it. Giron now to act. He also, no, I think Giron is raising here. So 3 bet to 20k. Ahmed will get out of the way, and be interested to see if Anand decides to call here. Wow, that's a tight fold. Of course, we can see the cards, they can't, so it's easy for us to comment. Okay, 2 players to the flop, lots of action. King, King, Jack. Up and, well, it's a gut shot straight draw for Greg. Kenny's checked. So Greg's bet 16,000. That's a find out where I am bet. If he gets a flat call from Kenny, the alarm bells will go off straight away. Can't see Kenny raising here. So the only options are fold or call. If he hasn't got a piece of that board, then it's an easy fold. And Nick's arguing with his chair. Well, Kenny's trying to make his mind up. So we're still sitting, waiting for Kenny to make a move. We now know that Kenny's got ace-king, and the reason he's taking all this time is because he wants more money. So it looks like a flat call. So now Kenny's got a full house, and Giron is actually drawing dead now. There are no cards that help Giron. You see our leader there, the CEO of Monsterjam, in the top left-hand corner, is talking to David Rosenthal. That's Mark Joseph, and we'll try and encourage him to come into the booth and have a chat with us later, if he can spare some time. Kenny bets 53,000, and you'll recall the second hand of the evening was between these two fellas. Oh my word. Quads for Kenny Morgan. He was already dominating the hand. And I'm afraid this is going to go bet fold. Kenny's now wondering how much can I get out of this guy. There's 187 in the pot. 75 by the look of it. Yeah, 75,000. And it's whether or not Giron believes Kenny's got a king, or they're playing the board. There is only one hand that's beating him. Well, I suppose we could go any other pockets, of course, which would make the full house as well. But they're counterfeited by the jack, so only pocket queens. Any jack. And there's a full house on the board. And he's got ace high. So he might think he's going to chop. What he doesn't realize is he's got no chance of a chop. And that's a big pot. Kenny picks up 173,000 chips, and he'll drag those back into his stack, and Giron gave it back. So a little look at it out our tables again. Okay, under the gun, David Rosenthal. Massive hand there, big chip swing, and you know, Kenny and Greg have locked horns twice now in 2 big hands, and a lot of chips have gone either way. So a lot of action for such a deep tournament. 6-2 under the gun there in the muck. Carl with the queen 9 might fancy something from here with a suited queen.
Average to 30,500.
So Dave Fully Olivier online, thank you. Nice to see you online, David. Steve Wiley online, Lauren's online as well. Nice to see all you guys watching the feed. Ahmed in the small blind, Queen Jack. There's a raise from Cole with the new suited ace as Queen 9. And it looks like a re-raise by Ahmed. 3-bet to 12k. And Cole calls it off. So Queen Jack and Queen 9 suited to the flop. If there's a queen on the flop, we're going to see some fireworks. 9 for Cole. Cole's also got a gut shot straight draw with an 8. So Ahmed is essentially looking for jacks only here. He's got 3 outs in the deck. He's going to bet. He calls it off. And there's the only jack that he wanted. So Ahmed now has got the jacks, 93%. So basically Cole's looking for one of the 2 9s left in the deck. $18,000 to 20,000. Cole's thinking it through, thinking it through. Drawing to 2 outs. He doesn't realize that, of course. He might think his 9 is good. He decides to fold. Very disciplined. Well played, Cole. And well played, Ahmed, as well. Got there, but you know, got to be in it to win it, as they say. So looks like Carl is now top of our chip leaderboard, but to be honest, there's nothing to choose between any of our players. Mini main event ongoing in the background. Must be a light or something. We'll look at it some more. Carl under the gun, King 6 suited. It's a nice hand, but a weak hand so early in the game, and correctly folded by Carl there. And Nick Zacken wakes up with ace king here under gun +2, so we're going to see him fire. The standard bet's been about 4k, maybe a little bit more just to limit the field. He sticks with the standard bet. Fold from Jose. Giron still licking his wounds a little bit from that last hand, decides to flat call. No, 3-bet to 12,000. Folded, folded. Pocket 9s for Anand. I don't think Anand's going anywhere. He's not been very lucky with his pockets, but hopefully he's going to pick something up here. So interesting hand developing here. Diamonds, ace king high, and a pocket 9. 2 diamonds on the flop. And of course, Anand has got an overpair here. So Nick, who started with the ace king, is actually in the worst shape. I can't see Greg going anywhere with 2 diamonds here. $38,000 in the pot. Like a bet around about 16 to 18,000. 15,000's a bet. Anand calls with his overpair, and rightly so. And you know, Nick fancies a splash around in the pot as well. He's holding the king of diamonds in his hands. So he's looking at the diamond on the turn. There's another 7, so 2 pair for Anand, 67% equity in the hand. And to be honest, Nick is almost drawing dead. And Greg has only got 23%. Yeah, checks it around, looking for a diamond on the river. 10 of hearts no good, so pocket 9s are good for Anand. 83,000 in the pot. Anand with the option. I'd like to see Anand bet this in value. 83,000 in the pot. Now he decides the 10 is an overcard, so he's not interested. Wonder if Nicky's going to take a stab at it. He checks. So it's down to Giron. They've given the betting lead. He checks, and then the turnover is nice. He's first player there, and the other 2 players will fold. Look at Giron's face. He's totally thinking to himself, I could have played that differently. To be honest, I wouldn't beat yourself up. You know, you could have raised with the big draw. But I got a funny feeling you might have been called. So welcome online to Mark Joseph. I see you're online there, Mark. Nice to see you. We'll try and get you in here for some comments on the tour to date, our current location and future events. And as always, Mark around to give us a good update on what's going on and what's going down. So we'll try and get him in the booth sometime later this evening. Okay, we're going to start a new hand. Kenny will be under the gun. 9 players at the table, and this is Times Square Casino and Resort and Arena and Entertainment, and we're very blessed to have Sun International as our partners, and not forgetting the Hendon Mob and the Global Poker Index. Log on to either of those and you will find the global poker stats worldwide. They are the keepers of the information. And of course our sponsors, Aquavita Water and of Regal Hospitality Events, of which Monsterjam Poker is a part of. And a shout out to Formula One Technologies, who provided us with some printing facilities throughout our stay here, also in Times Square. So thank you to Kevin and the guys down there at Formula One. Okay, Mike Rocco under the gun here. He's raised it up to 4K. Carl's called it off with the big blind to be able to defend. He's got 2 overs to the 7s. King, King, 10. It'll slow down the action a little bit. Check from Carl. 3,000 the bet, and I'm pretty sure this will go bet fold. And Cole gets out of the way. And Mike Rocco picks up 6K. Mike's been very quiet at the table. To be fair, he hasn't had a lot of hands. And the hands that he has had have been somewhat counterfeited. So there's a pickup of 6,000 for Mike there. And there's your chip counts. And we've got a view of one of the outer tables for the mini main event there. And to the top right is Rob Blonsky, and then we got to his right Wei, Vegan Das, Lydia, and my apologies to the other 2 players. I don't know their names, so you called me. Okay, back to the feature table. New hand under the gun, our friend Nick from Botswana. I'm surprised that we're not seeing Mr. Huawei's son. He's from Botswana as well. I did hear that he's back in China visiting his family. And those pocket sevens are out again. Here we go. Botswanian Nick is found them this time. So there's been some action here. So raised by 4K with the sevens. Call 7-6 suited. There's one of your outs from Jose. 10-5 in the bin. Mike also folds his suited jack. Ahmed with the ace-7. Anand 8-2. David Rosenthal with jack-6. Actually hasn't had any hands at all apart from the one he sat down with. Was the nines. And Carl has got king-queen here. He might fancy some of this as well. Carl calls the 3 grand. Kenny Morgan with the pocket nines. And I think that's a raise up. Three bet to 21,000. Snap call by Nick. Jose needs to get rid of those pretty quickly. And up to Carl. And I think Carl has a fold here. He won't know that he's got 2 overs to 2 pairs. If he did, he'd be calling. But he's going to leave it up to Nick and Kenny. And what price, a king or a queen on the flop? You heard it here, folks. Mr. Myberg folded the better hand. But of course, solid poker call. It will always win through in the end. Kenny with the best hand now. Bets his nines. And there's an overpair now with the queen on the flop available, so I'm pretty sure Nicky will get out of the way. Doesn't want to be tangling with him. Bit of mutual respect. They're always nice to see. Nicky showed the sevens, so Kenny obliged and showed the nines, and Nicky, you know, he made a sound for lay down there, so well done. Okay, under the gun will be Jose this hand. It's folded round. Mike folds. Ahmed with the 9-7 off. Folds, and then 6-3, they're going in the muck also. David has had no cards, 8-3. Carl folds his cards, we didn't see them, but Kenny with the option, a small blind, looks like he's completed. Okay, chip counts. All very, very close. Not even worth mentioning that Nick's at the bottom. Seriously. So I've got a message from Moon on the stream. Hi Gary, how are you? I miss you all, guys. I am in Pakistan. Don't get lost, buddy. Don't get lost.
Mjpt can go with them a little bit better.
Okay, so we're starting the next hand. Greg Ronaldson to be under the gun. Big blind 1,000, small blind 1,000, 1,000 in the big blind ante. These guys started with 500,000 chips, so 500 big blinds to start if you're joining right now. Come on down if you've got a spare 90,000. My word, pocket sevens again. It's the night of the sevens. And hello to Dorian Anthony. Nice to see you on online, model. And Shuab Ahmad. Nice to see you online, my friend. 10 Jack suited. Ahmed Kareem wants to join my club. The 10 Jack Brigade. David once again getting rubbish. Card dead. Looking to the sky for some sort of divine intervention. Cole Myberg, 4,000 to call. He'll call these 5-3 suited one gappers. He'll fancy this all day. Kenny will come along for the value for sure. Nick calls with his 10-7 suited. And Jose with Jack 8 folds. And we're going to go 5 ways, 5 ways to the flop. 9 Queen Ace. All black cards, 2 clubs. Nick flops a flush draw here, and Ahmed with the Jack 10 has got the up down straight draw. So there's a check by Nick. Greg with the sevens is contemplating something here. No, he's checked. Ahmed with the Jack 10 with the up and down straight draw decides to bet out. $7,500. Cole's folded. Nick with the club draw is calling all day. And I think Greg folds. 2 players to the turn. Jack of clubs. We just go to the flop cam. Jack of clubs. So Nick gets there with his flush, and Ahmed is drawing dead. 37k in the pot. What Nick needs to work out now is how much money can he get out of Ahmed. The answer is he's too smart. He's not going to give you anything. Trying to get tricky. Nick checks. Ahmed will probably check back here. He'll smell this. Well, Ahmed bet 21. So Ahmed was trying to take it down. So Nick should smooth call here. No, he's re-raised. Ahmed will realise he's been had. Yeah, good fold. Good fold. Kevin Khalil online. How's it, Kevin? Michael Holden. Nice to see you online, Mikey. And Sammy Newbury. Nice to see you online, Sammy. Spoke about you earlier. Hopefully your man is back with you safe. If not, he's doing a good job out there in the Mauritius. So African Series of Poker being held in TI Vegas Casino in Mauritius at this moment in time. And I believe Gary is out there doing his thing. Okay, so I believe Anand has called here. David Rosenthal, cards in the muck already. Cole Margaret, 7-3, going to fold, I'm sure. Kenny calls. So Kenny raises to 4,000. Can't see Kenny's cards again. And I must just say, it's not Kenny's fault we can't see his cards. It must be a problem with the reader. So we'll try and check that out in our next break. So Anand's got a lock on her hand here. Greg will find out the bad news, and the straight wins. So there are your chip counts, and Anand takes over the chip lead with 592 there, and Nick's at the bottom with 448. So not a lot to choose between these guys. A few chips moving around the table. I believe that's David with the back of his head there, telling us the blinds are up. So Ahmed is under the gun. Uh, 6-5, he falls. Anand calls the 1,000. David raises to ace-8 with his ace-8 up to 5.5, and Dave's been very, very quiet. So Mike Rocco has woke up with the aces here. We'll see what his sizing is. He's been very, very quiet. There's 15k in the pot. That's a very interesting bet. He's come out far in there, 41,000, and he's going to get no takers for sure. So I think the blinds are going up this hand. Okay, new hand under the gun. Anand Kumar, 3-2. David, the Queen 8 suited, calls off the 1.5. Cole folds, Kenny folds, Nick folds, Jose folds, and Greg folds. Suited 10-9 for Mike, so if spades come, there could be some problems. They might not get a chance at it because Ahmed is woken up here with a suited ace 10 of diamonds, so I expect to see some action from him. So only the one spade, 4-5-7. And Ahmed is out in front with his ace high here. Check from Mike Rocco, option with Ahmed. It's a pretty straighty, sort of flushy board, so Ahmed might, yeah, I think Ahmed's checked here. Yeah, Ahmed has checked. So it'll be up to Bozo. David must have bet, and Ahmed folds as well. So our software is just catching up. David Rosenthal bets and everybody else folded, so Bozo picks up his first pot of the evening. David Rosenthal under the gun, 5-4 suited. Nice cards, but not from an early spot. David decides to flat call. No, he raises up to 5.5. Cole gets out of the way. Kenny to call. Looks like Eben coming in at the side there. Looks like Kenny calls off the 5.5. Nick Zackham with 7-6 offsuit will fold. Jose calls King Queen off. Greg Ronderson will fold his King 2 suited. Mike Rocco will get out of the way as well, I'm sure. Ahmed is Jack 9. So we're going to go 4 ways to the flop. We haven't seen Kenny's cards. 10-10. Okay, there's your chip counts. A little bit of a news for you that this will be the last level of the day. So starting these boys off nice and gently. And we've run about, I think we've got about 50 minutes left on this level. And then we will return at 12:30, just noon, 12:30, just after lunch. And we will carry on. And if there are no additional players overnight, and we don't have to start a second table, there will be a redraw for seats, as if there have been 10 tables or 15. And the reason for that is everybody has the opportunity then to be redrawn against a different opposition. I mean, maybe you like or maybe you dislike where you're sitting, but there's always a redraw when we go to the overnight session. So 12:30 tomorrow, this will be the last hour of this particular broadcast. So we're easing you gently into our stream, but we're starting off with a bang with the super high roller and the 90k, of course. And back to the actions. 1.5k is the call, under the gun +2 by Nick. 9-10 offsuits. Kenny has called it off with 8-6 suited, and Giron has got king queen here. Might fancy a little up of the ante. Let's see if he just flats or he comes along with a raise. Looks like the latter. And all the people out there in the internet land, just once again the apology for the little blackout we had earlier in the feed, beyond our control, and we're glad to be back with you. So we go to the flop cam. Looks like our flop cam's gone a little bit wonky on us. We'll fix that tomorrow. Maybe the flop cam's been drinking, who knows. Little point to note, Cole Myberg is wearing pink, and he's eating pink as well. What on earth is going on there? You are a pink person. In fact, your head is blending in with the post behind you. There's a thing. Okay, 10-8 queen. Looks like the chips have been shipped across to Greg Ronaldson with his queen, and he's on a gain of 21,000. Of course, the upside is that if Mr. Myberg is eating chocolate, that means Dave De Beer is patrolling with chocolate. And if Dave's patrolling with chocolate, that means I need my share. Okay. We're going to start a new hand. Bozo's looking for some assistance somewhere. Our under the gun player, blinds at 1.5, will be Kenny. Center of picture with the sporting the new Monsterjam Poker Tour caps in grey and gold. See Dave De Beer at the merchandising stand on the right hand side as you come in from the hotel side, and he'll be more than happy to sort you out with some of our new gangster clothing with the gold lettering. And if you like the old stock, we still have some of that left as well. So of course, if you don't like the Monsterjam stuff, you can always have a chat with Cole, and he'll tell you where he gets all his pink clothing from, and you can join him in the Pink Brigade. Only kidding, Cole. We love you. Okay, folded. Ahmed in the cutoff folded. Anand 7-3 folds. David Rosenthal in the small blind, Queen 10. I think this will go bet. He just completes. Carl Myberg with the Jack 2. Not going to get too frisky with this, I'm sure. And I think there's something like I'll check and give him some free cards. Queen 9. Bozo kind of flops a monster here, so this will go bet fold. Oh no, turn card's a club. 8 on the river, no help. Bozo gets paid normal money, bet fold. You know you can't call here, Cole. You do know that. And David Rosenthal will pick up a gain of 6,000. So well done, Bozo. About time you started winning a few hands, he says. Had a sick run of cards there, not so nice. Nice to see you pick up a hand and nice to see you make a bit of cash. And makes us all feel a lot better. So, Sun International in partnership with Monsterjam Poker, bringing you wonderful pictures through the excellent staff of CardStream. And I include myself in that, because we are excellent. All you people out there in internet land who are enjoying our feed, just a reminder, we're going to be going through for just under another hour, and then we'll be returning at 12:30 tomorrow with episode 2 of your 90K. There will be a redraw for seats overnight, and you will get the chip counts up on your local internet feed through the social media feeds, and of course the Monsterjam Poker website. Nick Zackham under the gun, Jack 5. They go in the muck. Dave De Beers here with the chocolates. Let's all shout out for David. I did instruct Dave earlier that we were to get first choice of the chocolate because we are important people. But obviously my instructions fell on stony ground. But I will have first choice and be taking a peppermint aero for those of you out there in internet land who want to know. Thank you so much. Always appreciate you, David. Okay, Carl has woken up the small blind here with ace queen, so we're going to see some action here. Carl's raised it up to 6,000. Kenny has called him with the king queen suited in the club variety. And Carl's flopped a monster with the 2 queens here. There's a club on the turn, on the river there. Sorry, on the turn. 2 clubs now, so flush draw for Kenny. This could be really sick here. River card comes. Where's the flop cam, guys? Ace. So full boat for Carl. This is going to be large bet fold. Let's just go back to the camera to see the cards here. So there's a bet gone in from Carl. Looks like 10 or 11,000. We'll get the dealer to clarify. And Carl takes down that hand. If you're wondering why it went so quiet, I was busy eating my chocolate. And very nice it was too. So big shout out for Dave De Beer. We appreciate you very, very much. And we're back to the action. And Jose, under the gun. Queen 6 of diamonds, Queen 6 offsuit, should I say. I'm pretty sure they're going in the muck. Mike Rocco, suited King 2. He's not interested. 7-5 suited for Ahmed. He likes these cards. Told you. Looks like a 5k raise. Suspect Bozo's going to come along for the ride here. Might even repop this. Something around 20k. $15. So Carl's got ace queen of diamonds here. I like a re-raise from Carl here all day. Nothing wrong with just calling, given there's been some action from Ahmed already. So just recapping there was a 5k raise, re-raise, 3-bet by David Rosenthal. And now Carl's reaching for the black chips. So I think, oh no, it's just a call. Nick with ace-9. Might fancy a bit of value here. Nick gets out of the way. Ahmed has to pay us 10k. We'll just flip to the other camera to see what Ahmed thinks. And he knows he's up against two solid players here, so 3-bet and a call. Doesn't always represent value, it represents some danger as well. So, you know, let's watch one of the best players in Africa here work it out. He decides to come along for the value. Diamonds on the flop would be very dangerous. Okay, 8, 10, 2. David with the 10 has flopped the best of it. Only one diamond for the flush draw. And not many backdoors. 49 in the pot. I like a bet from David here, about 25 to 30. So just a bit lower, 20k. Carl has to work out, is he golden or is he not? And I don't mind a call from Carl here. I mean, he's got the 2 overs with the backdoor diamonds. But Mr. Myberg, the new Mr. Myberg, decides to get out the way, and nothing wrong with that either. And Ahmed also folds. So well done, David. 34,000 to the good, and you flop top pair with top kicker, and you got paid off. So well done. Okay, new hand, Greg Ronaldson, Giron, under the gun. Not looking too happy with himself, Giron, but he's got 484,000k. Starting stack was 500,000. Won a big hand, the second hand of the night. And then the chips went back the other way when Kenny won a big hand, which sort of leveled the playing field. In fact, Greg looks a bit tired there. You need to wear brighter clothing, Greg, that's what it is. You're blending into the background, all you black t-shirt guys up the back there. Need to send you the Cole Myberg Taylor's number. Let's have a more dressed like Candy Flock day, I'm surely. Okay, nobody told me what their predictions were on the stream, so I'm going to tell you what my predictions are. John Ambrosie's not going to like this. I got England by 5 to 7 points to beat the All Blacks. That will be an upset, I think. I think the All Blacks are considered the favourites, but England are playing well. And that's not the Pommy and me talking. I then predict South Africa to smash the Welsh. We only can live in hope. And it to be an England-South Africa final, and South Africa to prevail. That is my prediction. And there's plenty of people out there listening to the stream saying, I hope you're right, Gary. I hope you're right. Incidentally, the 4 teams in the semi-finals are the top 4 teams in the world. Currently, New Zealand are ranked number 1 in the world. England are ranked number 2. Wales are ranked number 3, and South Africa are ranked number 4. So the rankings are correct. The top 4 teams in the world are playing in the semi-finals. Anyhow, we've got a little bit of time to run on the stream before we end the level. The levels are 1 hour each, as I've reminded you a few times. I reckon we got, by my judgment, we've round about 38 minutes to go. So that means that we're on a buffer for 30 minutes. So if you get your comments in now, I'll be able to read them out for the last 4 or 5 minutes of the stream. So any comments you got on the rugby, please feel free to share. And of course, don't forget, on Sunday, you've got to wear your Springbok shirts. And I will be checking online, and I will expect photographs of you wearing your Springbok shirts. Now, one of the questions we've been getting on the stream is, are you streaming during the rugby? I mean, what a stupid question, really. What a stupid question. I spoke with Mark Joseph, and Mark already had a plan. We will not be streaming, we will not be doing anything until such times as both semi-finals have been played. Hence the reason we're starting at 12:30 tomorrow. And I'm pretty sure the timings that for Sunday will also reflect the ability for us all to be watching the semi-final between England and South Africa and Wales at our leisure. I think Cole's in a bit of pain here, but he's going to get rid of this, and I think that's a standard fold. Good, good, good. And one card straight, he shows the 8. And the guys who benefit from that the most are the guys who folded. They made the right decision. So Annan was being very gracious in doing this. So we're on the last level, small blind 1,000, big blind 1,500, 1,500 on the big blind ante. We have 9 players on our feature table playing in the 90k. And our under the gun player is Mike Rocco from the United States of America, to be precise, from Los Angeles in California. And he has a live earnings of $1.7 million. Wow. Go you. That's Mike in your picture, just to the left of the trussing, blending in with the furniture with the black shirt, t-shirt brigade. Okay, our dealer is ready. And our cards will be in the air once again. Mike Rocco, this is your opportunity to join the Jack 10 Club. And they're suited, bud. Just a flat call. Disappointing. Ahmed with 9-8. Too early to punish the limpers, brother. They're in the muck. So we got Jack 10, 10-9, 10-8. All the 10s are out, that's for sure. There's another Jack. They go in the muck. 3-2 from Cole in the muck. Kenny gets rid of his cards. Ace-6 suited. Nick's going to call that for sure on the button in position. Jose's got the other 10, so that's all the 10's gone. Giron's getting rid of that. And Mike's got to call off the raise here, Ace-6. So if diamonds come, I didn't see, but Nick has raised, I think so. If diamonds come, there could be a bit of trouble. And it's a re-raise by Mike, bit of aggression, up to 30k more. And Nick's having none of it. You can't push me around, buddy, he says. I'm on the button. Three, ace, 2. Nick will be delighted to see that. Uh-oh. So just a flat call should be setting off the alarm bells. 7, no help for either player. Nick's got a lock on the hands, and Mike can't win this. Mike is probably going to either shut down or he's got a bet to win this. The only way he loses the shut down. Nick for value, bet fold. Have a nice day. Sorry, Mr. Rocco, your Jack 10 is no good. You didn't get in the club. Ace-6. Pair of aces. Well done, Nicky, on the button. And admire your courage, my friend. Unlucky, Mr. Rocco. Better luck next time. I gotta love Nick. He loves the speech. Loves the speech. Holding court. So just a reminder, we got our 6K mini main going on in the background, and please feel free to come and jump in and join us on that. And I think registration is open for 18 levels, so I think you can re-register tomorrow. Of course, the 90K, if you feel you have the ability, the ambition, and of course the cash, then come along and join us. You can register tomorrow for that first thing as well. Not a problem. We'll be happy to see you. And of course, there'll be satellites to be announced on the social media sites. Free roll satellites, seats guaranteed as they were today. And something for everybody's budget, ability, and of course, ambition. We all have to have ambition. Ahmed under the gun. King 8, nice cards, but not from under the gun. They're going to muck. Don't let me down. I predicted you were going to fold, Ahmed. What do I know about poker? Ahmed raises up to 5k. Strong move. Bozo with a Jack 9 gets rid. 9-5 of diamonds in the muck. Ace 2, Kenny in the muck. 9 10 in the muck. 7-2, Jose, goodbye. Greg's 10-4. Geez, all the clubs are out. Mike Rocker with 8-6. Chinese lucky numbers. Au revoir. Walk on by. A walk for our friend Mr. Ahmed Karim. Oh, Donny sent a right of picture there. Just joined in the table. I don't know how many players are currently in the mini main, but it looks like there's at least 3, maybe 4 tables ongoing. Okay, new hand. I don't know who's under the gun. I kind of lost track there. Oh, Anand's under the gun, thank you. So Mike Rocco in the small, Ahmed Karim in the big, and of course Anand under the gun. And I think he's just limped along there. 1-5. Bozo Queen 9 gets out of the way. Mr. Myberg with queens here. We're going to see some action. Raise up. Raise to 5,000. Nick Zackham comes along with the pocket 8s. What price a Queen 8 flop? My Rocco with a 10-9 gets out of the way. 5-2 from Ahmed. He's not going to get involved at these prices. And Ahmed should be getting out of the way here as well. But he decides to call. 3 players to the flop. Pocket queens ahead. Pair of 8s for Nick. Uh-oh. Set of 8s for Nicky. The only saving grace is there is a king on the flop, which might help Cole to get rid of this. Nick is just licking his lips here, of course. Looks like 7.5. And then gets out of the way. And there's only 1 queen left in the deck. Bring some other opportunities now. So queens, aces, and 9s. And I don't know if Cole's going to be able to get away from this. Looks like a 16,000. There's 50,000 in the pot. Club on the river, so the flush gets there. That could be some help for Cole.
That's why I was hoping that it's not the jack or king.
So Nick will now hold court after the hand.
That's why I bet I knew that.
Thinking go to order some new chairs for this back office. See, my team are now looking at me, all the people out there in internet land. Why are these chairs uncomfortable? Why do you think I'm standing up and rubbing my backside? Getting the numb bum syndrome. Going to write to our illustrious leader and ask them for bigger cushions. And no, we don't need any answers on the stream to that question. Okay, under the gun, Bozo, 10-2, Texas Dolly. The hand that made Doll Brunson famous. Well, actually playing poker made him famous. But let's not let the truth get in the way of a good story. Nick Zackham fold. So I actually fancy a raise here for Mohammed. Yeah, raise to 21,000. Two players to flop, 8-5 diamonds. So Ahmed with the King Jack is ahead. Easy hand.
I had almost double the chip.
So Cole's under the gun. Hand number 77 of the evening. So essentially we've had a lot of posturing, a couple of big hands, and the chips have just basically been slowly moving around the table. Nobody's a decisive or should I say an obvious front runner here on this table. Cole raises up the 3.5. Kenny calls, and Nick Zackham calls, and Greg's looking down here at a suited King 10. Oh, here we go. Ahmed's got queens. This could be very, very interesting. Obviously coming in for a raise here. Just what is the sizing? It's 32 in the pot. He doesn't want to play against these rogue aces, so I think a sizing around about pot size or maybe 20, 25. So a big raise. Carl can't call this off with 4-4. Well, he can, but it's not a good bet. Not a good call. Mind you, he's out there, I'm not, so maybe he's the genius. So Greg has got 26,000 a call here, King 10. He might feel he's got a value in here. So the mental flop here would be King for Queen. Not that we're trying to call mental flops, but you know, a fun flop. So no help for Cole. 2 spades for Greg. And obviously an overpair for Ahmed. So Ahmed's bet, Carl's got to fold here, doesn't have a choice. Yeah, good fold, Mr. Myberg. So Greg's got 8 outs here, 41%. But, he's got a reasonable price here. And he won't know it also. He's also got an overcard, so any king as well will do him. Sure, bet to 98. %27% to win the hand. Big call. Big call. So So you see his outs on the top of the screen there, basically any king, any spade. And that's not going to help you, Greg. So Ahmed's going to bet here. It's been a check from Greg. Greg has checked. Option with Ahmed. Telltale sign, looks down at his chips. Bet sizing around about, well, the pot's 429,000 jeepers. Huge pot, 242,000 swing to Ahmed. And the young lady you saw behind Ahmed there was Lauren Pia, who is Ahmed's partner. So she came over to see that big pot, and she'd be happy to see her man take down a pot. And all of a sudden, Greg is now the bottom of the pile for chips, having lost that significant pot. Blinds at 1,000, 1,500. Big blind ante at 1,500. And we're into hand number 78 of the evening. Kenny's under the gun. Jack 9 offsuit for Kenny. Nick comes out firing with the Cowboys. Fold. Greg Ronaldson with ace queen. This could be a little bit of a scrap brewing here. Mike Rocco gets out of the way. Ahmed will get out of the way with his queen 6 here. Cole do well to get out of the way as well. And we got 2 players to the flop. Will the Kings live up to their nickname of the Ace Magnets? Oh, Greg had 3-bet to 15, so Nicky has to. I think Nicky re-raises here for sure. Looks like a flat call. And the Ace Magnets do not live up to their name. So Nicky is good here. Check from Nick. Open to induce a bet from Greg. Indeed he does. He hopes Greg has got a jack. Minimum. Nick will take some time to call here, I would have thought. Well, so he calls it off, Greg, looking for the ace. Oh, bingo! You heard it here first, folks. And that's not a picture that Nick's gonna love seeing. And Greg's bravery has been rewarded.
Your blinds are now 600, 1200, 400, 600, 1200, 1200.
Our camera or our software in the bottom right hand corner is not showing the card, so we don't know why, but it was definitely an ace, so we'll go to the flop cam. I think there was a bet there by, we'll just confirm there was a bet. Flop cam, guys, please. So 10 on the river. Ask the dealer. Oh, looks like Nick might call this off. Okay, we'll go to the flop cam. And what happened there was that, as you can see, just go back to the other camera shot. And Greg Ronson's picking up the pot there, so 186,000 went to Greg there. But we just lost track of the action, and 150,000 pickup by Greg. So that's a welcome sight with just a short period of time to go. Welcome on the stream to Keenan Pinar. Nice to see you, Keenan. Thought might have seen you guys up this end. You crazies from down south. Anyhow, my best regards to all your friends and family down there. We're always happy to have you on our stream. And no doubt we'll run into you again fairly soon. Okay, Nick is under the gun here. We've got approximately 8.5, 9 minutes to go on the level, and then it'll be bagging and tagging. So I suspect very soon we shall be drawing for how many hands we play for the end of the night. So I suspect David will be over at the table shortly to, after this hand, to draw for the hands for the rest of the evening. And for those of you unfamiliar with the process, there'll be 3 cards put on the table, a 5, a 4 and a 3. They'll be face down, they'll be shuffled, and then one person will be elected to draw a card. And whatever number is on that card is how many hands will be played to the end of the evening session. Once those are completed, players will be given a bag, and they'll count their chips and have them tagged, verified by the dealer, and they'll be stored overnight. There'll be a redraw for seats overnight, and we'll publish that on our social media sites just as soon as it's been done. And they'll all go home. And then us boring card stream people will sit here for the next 30 minutes whilst the stream catches up, because obviously we have 30 minutes of buffering to get through. And once that's done, we can all go home as well. And of course, we're waking up in the morning, early doors. I don't know what time it starts, but to watch the rugby. have some breakfast, and then be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed come 12:30 tomorrow. So I'm hearing that the rugby starts at 11 a.m. tomorrow. So play here doesn't start till 12:30, so plenty of time for you to catch the rugby. And I didn't get any comments on the stream but regarding referees or semi-final results, etc. Here we go, here's the three cards. We'll just zoom out there or check. Three hands. Okay, the under the gun player is Mr. Jose. So Nick Zackham is currently on the button. Oh, I'm lying, he's not on the button. Nick Zackham is in the big blind, Kenny is in the small blind, Cole is on the button. So when the button gets to Nick, we play a hand and that'll be us finished. It's been a sprightly opening few sessions to the Super High Roller. Some very nice poker been played, some huge pots played. And it would appear most of the players are in pretty good shape. There's no sort of clear chip leader and there's no sort of clear short stack either. So it's been a steady old beginning. So Ahmed is raised with his 8-5 suited. David folds. Cole might come along here with the suited ace-3. Nick with his 9-7 calls. And Jose with his queen jack calls. King 5-6. One club. Six, five, king on the flop. Pair of fives for Ahmed. Only one club on the flop, of course, for Cole. Ahmed bets 11,000. Cole gets out of the way. Michael Clutcher online. Nice to see you, Mike. Okay, we go back to the action. Under the gun player is Greg Ronson. So Greg Ronson, Jack 8 in the muck. Mark Rocco 10-5, they'll also go to Mark. So Anand has raised it up with pocket sixes. The raise is 4.5. So Cole calls with 2 overs. Kenny might decide to get frisky here as well. Four ways to the flop. Jack, 9, ace. 2 clubs. Nick has a club draw. So Kenny comes out firing here with the ace-7. He has got the best hand, of course. Cole calls. Obviously a non-believer. Another jack, no help. Action is with Nick. The turn card, the jack. Check, check. Kenny's going to bet. And if you had him on an ace, you're losing. If you had him on the jack, you're losing. And he shows the ace. Nice pot. Well played. 51 to the good. So we believe this is the last hand for the day, and then our players will be going on break until 12:30 tomorrow, which will enable them to watch the rugby. I have this vision of my breakfast being delivered to my room and laying in bed watching the rugby. We'll see how that works out. So Ahmed folds his 9-2 under the gun +1. Anand folds. David Rosenthal with the ace-5 of diamonds, looking for some action before the night is closed. So the raise was 4.5. Greg with the ace-7 off is getting rid. And I think that's a fold. So we'll just keep this over picture on the screen for you while we're doing the bagging and tagging. but just a little recount for you. So we got rugby tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock kickoff. We're not kicking off here till 12:30. There will be a redraw overnight for seats, and we're hoping for some more additional players to come through, and we can have 2 tables. Also for Sunday, we will be starting late so that you can watch the rugby as well, and I'm sure that'll be good. And the players are now getting their bags and their tags, and you'll see they're getting some nice gifts from the ladies there. And that's just a thank you for your support to the super high roller. But nothing remains now for me personally to be signing off until tomorrow 12:30, and you'll be listening to the stream for another 30 minutes after I've gone to bed. So that makes me feel real good. Anyhow, don't miss the next episode. Come back tomorrow, and we'll see you all soon. Have a good evening.